The Rangers have had trouble winning on the road this season, only 2 wins in their last 13. But a trip to Carolina may change that. The Rangers have dominated their series with the Hurricanes, winning 18 of their last 19 matchups. The Rangers try for a 2-game win streak against the Carolina Hurricanes tonight. We are live in icy Raleigh, North Carolina for New York Rangers hockey tonight. The Rangers take on the Carolina Hurricanes. New York Rangers hockey on MSG is presented by Chase. Hello everyone, welcome to New York Rangers hockey. Sam Rosen along with Joe Micheletti. John Giannone is on the radio side tonight because of weather affecting everything. We hope you're safe wherever you're watching. As far as the Rangers are concerned, they want to keep their dominance over Carolina. Meanwhile, Carolina's coach made a point of it.
Oh, he did. The Rangers have won 18 of their last 19 against Carolina, so he put that record on the big board, went in the locker room and pointed at it, said it's time to change this. We give that team too much respect, and that's what they're trying to do. But they played last night in Toronto, got back late. The Rangers need a quick start.
Rangers want that quick start. Maybe led by Matt Zuccarello, because Matt Zuccarello, when he sees Carolina, he puts points on the board.
Well, he's got points on 11 consecutive games against Carolina, a goal and 12 assists. And you're right, he just, good things happen against this team that we sometimes see that in sports. And if anything is, if last game isn't any indication about the way Zuccarello played, defensively he makes a beautiful play in that game. He scored the game winner in the shootout in Philadelphia. And when the Rangers needed a big goal late in the game against Vancouver, it was Matt Zuccarello that tied the game, and of course, they went on to win it in overtime.
Joe, we've been talking about the improvement in JT Miller's game for weeks now. One thing the coaches told us just a little while ago before the game is they were very impressed with the way he bounced back from making a big mistake in the Washington game, a big turnover, and played so well against Vancouver.
You know what it is, Sam? It's really pretty simple. The kid's just growing up. I mean, that's what he's doing. He's growing up right before our eyes. When he first came up here a few years ago, he'd make mistakes, and then he'd get nervous, and then they'd send him down to the minors, and he'd have this look on his face. Now he goes out and plays. He knows he has to try to make plays. He does that, and he does it effectively in so many different aspects of playing the game. He doesn't take many penalties, but he still plays physical. When he shoots the puck, he's got a very good shot. And there's the overtime winner against Vancouver last game when he had 8 shots on goal. When general managers and coaches in the offseason, they look at their team and they start making different type of adjustments, they expect young players to be better the next season. He's exactly what's happened with them.
This Carolina Hurricanes team is a lot better from the team we saw a couple of months ago. They are 5-1-1 in their last 7. They are getting close to playoff position, and they've got some real good talent on their roster. Their scouting report brought to you by your local tri-state area Land Rover retailer. Jordan Staal, we know him for many, many years. He's a big, strong, outstanding player. And Jeff Skinner, though he's been up and down a lot this season, leads the team with 17 goals.
Yeah, the thing with Jordan Staal, he's been their best player now for the last 5 weeks, and he's playing on their best line. And the reason is he's just skating more. I mean, as you mentioned, Sam, he's a big, strong guy, but when he's on the move, he can shoot it. Here's the overtime winner last night, so he's scoring, he's checking well. Jeff Skinner is one of those players that, like Zuccarello, when he plays against the Rangers, he seems to be really effective. He's dangerous around the net. He's not a big player, but he'll go to the tough areas to score. He's streaky, but he likes playing against the Rangers for sure.
And as always, when you play the Carolina Hurricanes, the Rangers have to look out for their captain, Eric Staal, longtime star. How long he'll still be here, who knows, but he's dangerous. And matching up with him will be Derek Brassard, back after missing 1 game with the flu and set to go in just a moment. Here's how the team gets ready. Matt Zuccarello, little smiles, little headbutt, little big hug for Kevin Klein, high five. That's the way to get the players ready.
He is something else, isn't he?
Outstanding. Closed captioning tonight is brought to you by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play.
I thought hug day was yesterday, wasn't it? Wasn't
right.
it giving somebody a
National
hug?
Hug Day.
That was yesterday? Yeah.
Our Audi goaltending
boy.
matchup. Henrik Lundqvist, 21 wins on the season. He had played 14, this is his 15th game in the last 16, 14 starts. And he is primed and ready as the Rangers look to make a run. Eddie Lack, after 2 years in Vancouver, came over here to Carolina, and with Cam Ward out with a concussion, he's got to carry the load.
Well, Rangers have to test him early. I mean, his numbers on the season have not been good. He's been better lately, but they've got to go after him because he's got holes in his game, and so you've got to try and test him early on.
Derek Brassard is back in the lineup. He's centering Rick Nash and Matt Zuccarello. And some physical play right away. Dan Girardi involved. Dan Girardi on defense with Ryan McDonough. Zuccarello tried to take it away from Jordan Staal. Actually took Jordan Staal down. Staal, number 11, with the puck. The pass across comes out of the zone. See the starting lineups coming in at the top of your screen. They're brought to you by Infinity, luxury cars that deliver inspired performance. Ryan McDonough with Jordan Staal forcing him. And the puck fired out to Matt Zuccarello. Long shot, gloved head high by Eddie Lack. Lack won 18 games with Vancouver last season and played 4 games in the playoffs. Unfortunately for him, he lost 3 of them, 1-3. Puck kept in by Dan Boyle. Rangers have brought on Derek Stepan, JT Miller, and Jesper Fast. With Mark Stahl and Dan Boyle. John Michael Lyles, the defenseman, with a shot that's blocked away by Lundqvist. And taken by Derek Stepan. Christopher Stieg pressing him. And the puck sent into the Carolina zone. Holding back there is Noah Hannafin. Long pass off the boards is offside. Offside, the pass for Phil DiGiuseppe.
Well, right off the opening faceoff, Dan Girardi steps up. How about this hit? Good solid hit on Nordstrom. And then JT Miller later on finishing his check. Good solid hit on Brett Pesce. And the Rangers, they have the right idea. Try and keep it in the Carolina zone, try and wear them down a little bit. And it is important, Sam, to try and jump on them early.
Face-off win. McDonough shot wide off the end boards. Lack plays it behind. Noah Hannafin played it up the boards. Rangers keep it in deep. Victor Stolberg on with Kevin Hayes and Oscar Lindberg. Rangers are without Chris Kreider. He has neck spasms. Lindberg with a good shot that's stopped by Eddie Lack. Puck cleared out by DiGiuseppe.
Now, the one thing Carolina does very well is they lead the league in shots against. So it's tough to get quality chances against them.
Lindberg in against Ron Hainsey, number 65. Lindberg winds it behind the net. Jim McClement has it taken away by Tanner Glass. Kevin Klein across to Yandel. The shot went wide. Lack was screened on the play. Here's Daniel Paille with his first shot as a New York Ranger on goal. Lack stopped it. Daniel Paille, this signed, was playing with Rockford in the American Hockey League outside of Chicago. 10-year NHL veteran. Parts of 5 seasons with Buffalo and 5 seasons with Boston. Helped Boston win a Stanley Cup.
And I like the pickup. He wins the Stanley Cup. He knows how to kill penalties, which has been a real issue for the Rangers as of late. And you know what? He came cheap, Sam. It didn't cost him much.
Nash with a shot that's gloved wide of the net by Eddie Lack. Not a lot of fans in the house, but a lot of Ranger fans.
There's glue all over this place. Glue all over the place. So Paille in his first shift gets a pretty good shot after Klein makes a real good play. Here's Klein, little pass right there to Paille, who just lets it go. Lack is there to make the save.
Klein and Paille were teammates in junior hockey in Guelph, and Danny Paille, a very close friend of Dan Girardi.
Right, they played together. And
Zuccarello shot deflected, but a save by Lack. They back to the point to Yandel, who plays it across. Chased down by Broussard. On to Nash. Nash chased by John Michael Lyles. And the pass deflected out of play. 3:23 gone by here in the first period.
Well, Alain Vigneault talking about Danny Paillet as well, and just saying, listen, we have room for a player like him on this team. Hard-working player. He's a very good teammate, really a good person, well respected around the league, and again he's an excellent penalty killer, which should help the Rangers in that area.
Miller takes it back after a good play by McDonough on Eric Stahl. Stepan moves it back to McDonough. Now Dan Girardi. All the way across. Jesper Fast fires in. Third meeting of the season between these two teams. The Rangers won the first two at Madison Square Garden, 3-0 and 4-3. Now let's go Rangers chant up from the many fans, Ranger fans here. Good save by Lundqvist on Chris Versteeg, who didn't get the shot cleanly. Lundqvist dragging that left pad made the save, icing on the Rangers.
Yeah, he's upset with that too, Sam, because it was a beautiful passing play, and Versteeg let the shot go quickly. Lundqvist was able to come across and make a save. I believe it was Lindholm. Right there, Lindholm, there's the pass all the way across. Boy, what an opportunity. And Versteeg, who leads the team in assists, couldn't finish.
Long shot by Phil DiGiuseppe. Giuseppe is a Toronto native, so he was back home last night. A 1-0 Carolina win in overtime.
Almost 70 people at that game last night. And Mom and Dad were there, and they had a box at the Air Canada Center. Good for him.
Kevin Hayes fires from long distance, and Stolberg gets there, saved by Lack. What a play as Hayes deliberately fired it from the Rangers side of the red line. Would have been an icing, but Stolberg beat the Carolina defender to the puck.
Oh yeah, he looked up all the way, saw him there, and just said, I'll let him use his speed. And he's got tremendous speed, gets in for the shot. Eddie Lack just gets a piece of it with his catching glove. Watch, kind of goes off his wrist. And up and into the netting.
Jay McClement and Kevin Hayes for the face-off. Controlled by Carolina. Chipped out of the zone and all the way down. On goal, Lundqvist steers it to Mark Stahl. Brad Malone is on him, number 24. Puck sent all the way down, no icing. And Hainsey goes back for it with Stolberg on him. Off the stick of Nathan Gerbe. Gerbe able to take it back. Kevin Klein. Rangers come out healthy scratch tonight. Dylan McElrath. Jason Mengdo has been sent back to Hartford. With the Rangers getting healthy, with the exception of Chris Kreider now out tonight, but Daniel Paillet was picked up. Glass around the boards for Paillet. Paillet's pass in the skates of Dominic Moore. Back comes Carolina, and Jordan Stahl sends it in. Andre Nesterfield, number 15. is after it. Rangers come out with it. Rick Nash fires in. Knocked away by Eddie Lack. Hanifin playing it up the boards. And the puck sent down the ice. Jordan Stahl after it. Dan Boyle cuts him off. Stahl stays with it. Lyles quickly across. Long shot that hit Elias Lindholm. Another shot deflected and kicked away by Lundqvist on the shot by Pesce.
Yeah, that was deflected by Lindholm as well. And Lundqvist really had to make a quick reaction save as that changed direction on him.
Eric Stahl bumped on the play by J.T. Miller. Lundqvist out behind the net to get it. Rangers 5 shots. Carolina 3. 6.5 minutes gone by in the first. Stepan off the stick of Zuccarello and cleared out by Justin Falk. Christopher Steve. Steve plays it back. Now Hainsey and Falk. And that deflects off the stick of DiGiuseppe and out of play. 6:46 gone by. First period. Henrik Lundqvist with a big save.
New York Rangers This is what happened against Vancouver. That was incidental contact. Verbata and Kreider. Kreider went off right away after that. Did stay and play the remainder of the game. Did not practice yesterday. Went on the ice this morning to try it, and obviously determined that he was not in good enough physical condition to play in this one.
Coach Alain Vigneault saying he expects that he will be able to play Sunday afternoon in Ottawa, the Rangers' next game, 3 p.m. Sunday afternoon. Face-off control, Jeff Skinner for Carolina, out to Ron Hainsey. Hainsey's shot just wide. Dominic Moore gets there, and the puck taken away by Skinner.
Carolina's got good energy to start this game, Sam. Well, the Rangers, they talked about trying to get a good start. They're working at it, but Carolina's, they've got some jump.
The puck deflects out of play again. 7-11 gone by here in the first period. Scoreless game. Tomorrow night, what happens when a serenade turns into a scandal? Go inside Marilyn Monroe's Happy Birthday song to President Kennedy on the Garden's Defining Moments, presented by SAP. That's tomorrow night, following the Knicks and the Hornets on MSG Network. Hope the Knicks can get into Charlotte. Charlotte really got hit hard by an ice storm today. That's fired across. Stepan winds it deep. Stepan in the corner. Past JT Miller. Nestrashil double teamed. Poked ahead by Jordan Staal. Then Girardi goes together.
This is the best line for Carolina as of late. Nestrashil on one side, Nordstrom on the other, and as we talked about, Jordan Staal in the middle.
And again, the puck deflects over the boards and into the Carolina bench this time. Bill Peters is the head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, his second season, and man, has he got energy to spare.
Oh yeah, he's done a great job here.
Yes, he has.
He really has. He's he knows the game well. He coached with Mike Babcock forever, goes all the way back to junior hockey, and he beat him for the first time last night going to Toronto, but he was fired up when we talked to him before the game.
Up the boards for Stieg. And the lead to Lindholm, who cuts in and shoots. Stick save by Lundqvist. Falk started to go after it. Brassard lifting it out of the zone. Stieg sends it in once more around the boards for Eric Staal against Keith Yandle. Justin Falk. Now Hainsey toward the net. That's knocked down in front. There's Lindholm setting up Falk high with a shot off the glass. Around the boards, Hainsey keeps in. Carolina with some good pressure. Rangers cleared out. Boyle sending it down the ice. And it turns into an icing on the Rangers.
Boy, Falk can shoot the puck too. He has turned out to be an outstanding young defenseman, Justin Falk, and that shot of his first 12 goals this season were all on the power play. And there you see his totals for the season. He was so good early on. He's dropped down a little bit, but he was playing at a really high level. And he's talking about him in the same breath as some of the other top defensemen in the game.
And according to Elias Sports, Joe, and our man Brian Gallagher does our statistics in the control truck, Justin Falk is the only player to ever score his first 12 goals on the power play. First 12 NHL goals on the power play. All the players
in the
have
season,
done that.
right? Yeah. The start of the season.
A takeaway by Ståhlberg. Martin Staal back forward, Gerby on him. The outlet pass through to Ståhlberg. Lindbergh fires it across. Hayes got it to Kevin Klein. Carolina much better defensively, Joe. Their coverage is much better.
Yeah, again, they don't give up many shots.
A deflection, a save by Lack. Good deflection by Kevin Hayes. Tries to center. Lack blocked it. Comes out in front, and out comes Nathan Gerby. Leads Phil DiGiuseppe. DiGiuseppe checked there, forced back by Daniel Paille, and now McDonough forced him out of the zone. Coming down to the midway point, first period. No score in the game. Rangers 6 shots, Carolina 4.
Yeah, that's why it's, part of the interesting matchup is the Rangers have been finding ways to get a lot of shots. 49, in fact, last game against Vancouver, against a team that's #1 in the league in not allowing shots.
There's Hainsey. Victor Rask's shot deflects out of play up into the netting. 9:41 to go in the first period. No score in the game. Banquet, timeless moment. We take you back to 1994, January 22nd. The NHL All-Star Game at Madison Square Garden. The Rangers core 4 were in the All-Star Game. Messier, Leach, Graves, and Mike Richter, who was the All-Star MVP.
I was going to say, who are those kids?
There's the Rangers All-Star representative this year. The All-Star Game in Nashville. And McDonough, the Rangers captain, will be heading off. Mark Stahl moving the pockets block. JT Miller back to help out. Ron Hainsey. That was out of the zone as he sent it in. Rangers take possession. Long pass from Miller intended for Stepan. That turns into a Rangers icing with 9:12 to go here in the first period. Sunday on MSG, the Rangers back in action in Ottawa against the Senators. Live coverage begins at 2:30 in the afternoon with Visa Rangers game night. Then the Rangers and the Ottawa Senators on MSG at 3 p.m. Ottawa Senators just came back from a West Coast trip, played in New Jersey last night,
that was
and they're
fun.
home against the Islanders tonight.
Wasn't that fun last night?
Wow.
5-0
They got
before
smoked.
they blinked.
6-3 the final.
This will be an interference penalty against Carolina off the faceoff.
That's the least penalized team in the NHL, Carolina Hurricanes, but they take the first penalty of the game.
The head coach, Bill Peters, was telling us before the game, says, I look at faceoffs and how we compete and icing. If we ice it a lot, we're not doing our job. And if we're losing and not competing on faceoffs, well, they compete here, but he gets in front of JT Miller. That's just enough to throw him off. And he said last night they had 9 of the first 10 shots on goal against Toronto, and then they took some offensive zone penalties.
This power play brought to you by Volkswagen. Big collision in the crease. Rick Nash was shoved into Eddie Lack. Lack went down after he made the save. Zuccarello on the move. His shot deflected. Nash plays it off the side of the net. Rangers power play has really struggled. Only 1 power play goal in the last 10 games.
Eddie Lack is hurt, by the way. Slowly getting up, talking to the referee. Referee asked him if he wanted to blow the whistle, but no, he says he stays in there.
Now Tom Cowell, the referee, checked him out. Rangers with Dan Boyle and Ryan McDonough. Zuccarello, Nash, and Brassard. McDonough, the drive, deflected away, goes up into the netting. And play stops. And now Nash asks Eddie Lack if he's okay.
Now, right off the face-off, Brassard does a nice job. There's the shot. And Nash coming in from the other side. Watch Nash. He tries to hold up. Kent goes right over the top of him. Lack was really slow to get up. He stayed down on one knee as the play was going down the other way, and he seems to be okay. As the coach told him, this is yours to run with now. You got a chance to prove yourself.
Stepan won the face-off. Hayes with a shot blocked. Stepan looking for it. JT Miller took it back. Good play. Miller, Stepan, Hayes, Klein, and Yandel. The shot deflected out of play again up into the netting.
Boy, Carolina's done a good job. These pucks are not getting through easily. JT Miller, watch him do a good job lifting the stick. Right there, lifts it, steals it from Pesce, keeps the play alive, and allows the Rangers to get another shot that was deflected into the netting.
And with Chris Kreider out tonight, Kevin Klein is on the second power play unit with Keith Yandel. Normally it would be 4 forwards and Keith Yandel. Cleared by the Hurricanes all the way down. Hurricanes have given up only one power play goal over the last 6 games. Yandle leads Klein. 35 seconds to go in the Rangers power play. Yandle back for the puck. Heads up ice again. Yandle carries in. Leaves it for Hayes. Saved by Lack. Cleared into the corner by Jordan Staal. And it's fired off the arm of Keith Yandle, who tried to knock it down. Good clear by Jacob Slavin. Final seconds of the Rangers power play. Brassard carries in. His pass intercepted by Hanifin. And Noah Hanifin carries the other way. Power play is over. A backhander by Hanifin. Tricky shot. Good save by Lundqvist. Falk with a drive and a save by Lundqvist. And Rick Nash picks it up and heads out. Under 7 minutes to go in the first. Nash challenges Falk. His turnaround backhander, a save by Lack. Nash gets it to Zuccarello. Heads for the net. Save by Lack. Eric Staal carries it out. Good end-to-end action. Mark Staal with a takeaway from his brother Eric and able to move the puck around the boards. Kept in. Versteeg has it. Beats Eric Staal. Saved by Lundqvist. Eric Staal checked by Mark. Eric went down. Versteeg taken away. Good play by Daniel Paillet.
I think Eric took a dive, Sam.
Yeah? I thought it was a great clean check by Mark. It was great to have their mom, Linda, on the mom's trip. Here's McDonough shooting, scores! Ryan McDonough gives the Rangers a 1-0 lead.
Boy, what a read. What a defensive read by Ryan McDonough. Lyles, watch him make the play right up the middle, and McDonough just stepped into it. Now the defensemen are caught flat-footed, and that wrist shot goes off the crossbar and in. Lyles has had a good season for Carolina, gives it away, and we've talked recently about the skating and how McDonough has just been on his toes, he's been dancing on his skates, and he exploded to that puck and scores the unassisted goal.
The Rangers All-Star had gone 13 games without a goal. He'd been putting points on the board. That's 7 points over the last 7 games for Ryan McDonough. But his first goal in the last 14.
Yeah, he hasn't been scoring goals, but I think he's in a stretch of playing his best hockey. He's been dominant.
Rangers grab the lead. Kevin Hayes in, checked there by Hanifin. And Skinner moves it back. Slavin able to work it ahead. Now Hanifin. We talked about the improvement of Carolina, and a lot of that has come with a young defense that Bill Peters has been willing to play the young defensemen. They've played for him.
They really have.
Hanifin, Slavin, Pesce.
Those three all played college hockey last year. How about this? All 6 defensemen for Carolina are American-born.
Wow.
U.S.-born kids. You never see that.
Take away by Jesper Fast. You hear the chants in the background, mostly Ranger fans. They have turned out strong. Puck deflects out of play. 4:50 to go in the first period. The Rangers captain, Ryan McDonough, gives the team a 1-0 lead. DraftKings brings us our DraftKings Spotlight. Its spotlight is on Matt Zuccarello, who has an 11-game point-scoring streak against the Carolina Hurricanes, a goal and 12 assists. Last Ranger with a longer point-scoring streak than that, Brian Leach, 12-game streak against the Pittsburgh Penguins, 1990 to 92. Play daily fantasy hockey on DraftKings.com, the official daily fantasy partner of the New York Rangers.
Offensive zone faceoff, McDonough and Yandle out on the ice together, with McDonough playing the offside.
Good first period for the Rangers. Alain Vigneault has said repeatedly the Rangers are playing better in the last couple of weeks. And they're 6-4-1 over the last 11 games with a win one, lose one. But 5-on-5, has been the key. And when the Rangers play 5-on-5, they're plus 24, 5-on-5.
That's second best in the NHL.
Zuccarello for McDonough. Checked along the boards by Jordan Staal. Fires toward the net. It's blocked in front. Good play by Falk. Here's Zuccarello. Saved by Lack. Hainsey was able to move it to Lindholm. Elias Lindholm sends it back. Missed by Falk. And taken there by Daniel Payet. Taken back by Christopher Stieg. Just under 4 minutes to go. First period. Rangers with a 1-0 lead. Mark Staal with a nice little pass through to Tanner Glass.
That's an area where Mark has really been much better at getting the puck, making a little move, and then moving the puck quickly up the ice.
Lyles with a long shot that's blocked with a pass by Henrik Lundqvist. Here's Tanner Glass. Shots are 12-8 in favor of the Rangers. Glass after it. Dominic Moore. The boards. Stopped by Kevin Klein. Outside the line. He brought it back across offside. Rangers with 3:17 to go here in the first. Tomorrow on MSG Plus, join Al Trautwig, Steve Valiquette, E.J. Radick, and Johnny Mack, Johnny McClain, for the latest Rangers Insight, Devils Insight, Islanders Insight, plus go around the entire NHL on an all-new Hockey Night Live presented by Geico. That's tomorrow at 10 on MSG Plus.
Well, they're ruling that Kevin Klein purposely moved the puck over the blue line, knowing that it was going to be an offside, so the face-off is in the Ranger zone.
Back behind the net, McDonough. JT Miller. Moves to the cross. Ahead, Jesper Fast for Derek Stepan. Stepan moves in and shoots, gloved by Lack. 2:57 to go here in this first period.
I think the second half of this first period, Sam, the Rangers, their game has elevated from an energy level. They've been, skating a little bit quicker on the puck, and Carolina has more difficulty handling that. Again, the Carolina Hurricanes give up 26 shots a game on average. Rangers have 13 in this period thus far, still just under 3 minutes to play.
Face-off win by Oscar Lindberg. Mark Staal winds it around. Hayes dropped it off for Lindberg, who shoots it, blocked. Stallberg, the rebound, saved by Lack, the rebound wide. Stallberg had a great chance. Eddie Lack made a fabulous save.
And doesn't have a stick.
Lindberg, the last shot that got through, Lack made a save without the stick. Good pressure by the Rangers. Here's Jacob Slavin. Pass deflects across. Hanifin. Hanifin lost it to Kevin Hayes. Hayes around the net. Hanifin picks him up. Hayes controlling. Good job by Kevin Hayes. Here's Oscar Lindberg in front. Score! Keith Yandel! And it's 2-0 Rangers. The Rangers defense scoring goals.
Well, Hayes was so good on the forecheck that the youngster Hanifin, they expect these kids to make mistakes. He makes one here. There's Hanifin there. Has it. Look at Hayes, stay with him. Steals it. Now the Rangers get going. They get everybody going on the offense, and this is what Hayes does best when he's confident. Holds on to make a play, and eventually everybody reads it right. Hayes to Lindberg, and of course Yandel just moved in and easily deflected that in for a 2-0 lead.
Excellent start to this game for the Rangers. Just under 2 minutes to go in the first period, and they have a 2-0 lead.
17 shots on goal for the Rangers in this first period.
And exactly what they wanted to do, Joe.
Yes.
Get on top of Carolina quickly. The team that had played last night and traveled didn't get back home till about 2 a.m. Zuccarello took a hit from Hainsey. Justin Falk dropped it off the boards for Hainsey. Minute 25 to go here in this first period. After the puck, Rask for Skinner behind the net, taken away by Girardi, taken back by the Hurricanes. Lyles winds up, that's a pass for Rask. Rask checked by Dominic Moore, took him down. Skinner had it knocked away by Girardi. And Glass able to move it out of the zone. 1 minute to go in his first period. Lyles. Fired ahead by Pesce. Pass across to Gerby. Stick save by Lundqvist. And if you're looking for numerical signs, the Carolina Hurricanes have not won a game this season when trailing at the end of the first period.
Now the Rangers, again, the Carolina takes a penalty about the 10-minute mark, which changed the game last night, momentum-wise, in Toronto, and they do it again in this game. And the Rangers take advantage of it. Keith Yandle moved in to finish off a play, which, boy, high marks to Kevin Hayes for the play he made.
Long shot, read wide by Nestershil. Eric Stahl, excuse me, that's Joachim Nordstrom, number 42. Nestershil tried to play it in front. Stepan gets away with it. Comes out. Final seconds of this first period. Miller after the puck against Hainsey. A hit by Miller. Falk tried to move it to his block. Hainsey in some trouble. Falk around the board, stopped by Mark Stahl. One last shot blocked away. And the first period comes to an end. And an outstanding first period for the New York Rangers. They did not take a penalty. They played the game 5-on-5. They had the one power play and got 2 goals from defensemen Ryan McDonagh and Keith Yandle.
Well, the first 10 minutes of the game was pretty even. The shots were at 5-3 at one point. Both teams were getting a few chances. Both teams were skating. Neither team had an edge. And then the Rangers had the power play. They didn't score. But I think there was some momentum change when that happened. The second half of the period, it was all Rangers. They were all over Carolina, and they didn't have an answer.
Rangers go off with a 2-0 lead. Coming up, the Delta Intermission Report. John Chinone's not with us. He's on the radio side, so Joe and I will talk with new Ranger Daniel Paille. Bill Peto's got the Audi MSG 150 back in the studio in New York. Steve Valiquette and Anson Carter have highlights and analysis. Should be pretty good analysis on their part. End of the first period. Rangers, a strong first period against Carolina. Lead it 2-0. Back with Daniel Paille in a moment. We are back in Raleigh, North Carolina, along with a lot of Ranger fans here, enjoying this Rangers game. New York Rangers hockey on MSG is presented by Chase. Big contributions from the Rangers defense in that first period, with goals by Ryan McDonagh, his 6th, and Keith Yandle, his 3rd. And Rangers defensemen have now put up 40 points in the last 18 games, 10 goals and 30 assists. That's a major contribution by the Rangers.
Yeah, it really is, Sam. You look at Ryan McDonagh. You know, he got off to a slow offensive start this season, and I think a lot of it had to do with that broken foot that he sustained in the playoffs last year. But he has been on a tear.
He's on a 4-game point scoring streak now, and has points in 6 of his last 7 games. Underway second period. McDonagh and Girardi on defense. Jordan Staal shot blocked by Girardi. Jordan Staal has it back. Picked up there by Derek Brassard. Girardi pokes at it. Nordstrom gave it away to Girardi. Up the boards to Rick Nash. Rangers 14-1-2 when leading after the first period. Carolina has not won a game this season when trailing into the first. 0-13-0. Puck cleared back into the Ranger zone.
Sam, we talked McDonagh. That's 23 points now for McDonagh in his last 35 games. So he's going at a pretty good clip.
Good numbers. Ahead, played into the Ranger zone. Eric Stahl with a pass back. And it's taken away. Derek Stepan breaks in all alone on Eddie Lack. Off the post.
Pesce had no idea that Stepan was coming from the other side.
Versteeg for Carolina. Save. Lundqvist covers up. Oh, another post. So it's the post again.
Yeah, Pesce was right-handed shot. You'll see him 54, and then just coming from the other way. He had no idea. And why should he when he has his back to that side? And Derek Stepan came from the other side, picked his pocket, and that one up high off the post and out the other way.
Rangers hit 6 posts against Vancouver. And got another one. And the replay, the RoboCam replay, brought to you by the new Buick.
See the look on Pesce's face. Just the kid, just relax, kid. There's not much you could have done on that.
Buick, your kind of luxury. Bringing you the RoboCam replay. Tanner Glass trying to come out. Checked there by Hannafin. Take away to save. Tanner Glass with a good chance after the young defense of the Carolina Hurricanes got a little confused there. Hannafin and Slavin.
Well, again, they're going to live with the young mistakes. They've done some good things, a lot of really good things, in fact, but that's Slavin and the pressure by the Rangers. Again, that's the second half of that first period, Sam. I thought the Rangers just upped the pace of their game, and then they did those same types of things where they put pressure on and forced turnovers.
Nice play in the corner by Danny Paille to get the puck to Tanner Glass. Here's Yandel. Up ahead, Kevin Hayes blocked at the line by Pesce. Pesce, the Tarrytown, New York native. Stolberg, checked there by McClement. Stolberg keeps it alive. McClement stays with him. Stolberg continues. Centers almost deflected in off the defenseman.
What a play by Stolberg. We talked about him a week or so ago, Sam, about how difficult the December was because he was hurt, couldn't skate, hard to compete. Now he feels good after the Christmas break.
Zuccarello. There's a Zooks from the crowd. That's deflected across. Nathan Gerby brings it out. He was stopped by Brassard.
That was a good attempt by Zuccarello. He saw Girardi breaking in from the right point, tried to get it to him.
And has just missed the far post. McClement drives it out of the zone. It'll turn. No icing. Carolina is able to get a line change. Zuccarello goes across for Miller. Miller against Hainsey. And Ron Hainsey takes over. A little over 3 minutes gone by second period. Rangers with a 2-0 lead. Long shot deflected off the outside of the post. Deflection by Justin Falk. Falk getting involved offensively. Jordan Staal checked there by McDonough. Tries to move it to Nesterfield. Andre Nesterfield. Centers, and they score! Joachim Nordstrom on the one-timer. A good setup by Nesterfield, and Carolina is on the board. It's a 2-1 game.
Well, they had the rush, got the deflection, and then kept the pressure on. In the corner, you see Boyle get hit with a high stick, and no one saw that. And the play goes on. Boyle was actually turned and saying something to the referee and wasn't really in good position. Here it is again, and then just the pass, and it was Nesterfield that got his stick up on Boyle, and that was missed, and it turns into a goal by Carolina.
Nordstrom had gone 13 games without a goal. That's his third goal of the season. An icing whistled against Carolina, but a big goal for Carolina, giving them life after the Rangers had dominated play to this point. You see Dan Boyle still upset on the bench. There's Joachim Nordstrom.
Yeah, they take a missed call and turn it into a goal, and those are the types of things that can turn a game. And you see Boyle on the bench. He was waiting for a call and really didn't get back into position. I think he was stunned a little bit by the high stick.
Rangers control. Keith Yandel on with Kevin Klein up ahead for Paille. It's by him. Played by Carolina. Up ahead to Staal and out of the zone. Yandel has it back. Rangers have 21 shots. Carolina with 12. And the Rangers lead is 2-1. Kevin Klein off the glass and out of the zone. Played across to Slavin. Slavin's pass tipped ahead by Jeff Skinner. Klein takes over. Lindholm on him. Blocked by Skinner. And Skinner takes it away. Skinner got taken down. Nothing called on the play. And the Rangers able to get it into the Carolina zone. Lyles pressured by Stolberg. Carolina able to come out with it. Pumped in by DiGiuseppe. Lundqvist around to Lindberg. Back the other way. Rask after it. Rangers able to move it. Knocked away from Stolberg. DiGiuseppe shot a save, and it's cleared away by Lundqvist. Slavin, the defenseman in deep, took a hit from Lindberg. And the puck kept in by Skinner. Good job by Carolina putting the pressure on here. Mark Stahl swings it up to Stolberg, who deflects it out of the zone.
Yeah, that goal gave him a little bit of life because the Rangers that come out the first few shifts of this period were real strong.
Fired in by Pesce.
I don't want to say that goal really got the crowd into it, Sam.
No. Not much of not a big crowd, probably about half of the crowd they expected.
Took the crowd out of it because it's mostly Ranger fans. There's blue jerseys all over the place.
Off the stick of Girardi, Gerby races down. Good play by McDonough to pick up for him. Kept in by Justin Falk. Now McClement back to Falk. Wrist shot saved by Lundqvist. Falk across to Hainsey. Hainsey with room moves in. His shot hit his own man. Deflects across to Gerby. That's blocked by Girardi. Bounces down, kept in by Hainsey.
They got a little shot of energy here, Carolina.
Yes, they do. Up the boards, Brassard able to clear it out. 6:20 gone by here in the second. Carolina with the only goal has cut the Rangers lead to 2-1. Falk down behind. Lundqvist plays it to Yandel. Stepan able to clear it out. Taken back by the Hurricanes. Klein turns and able to lift it out of the zone. Lifted it high. Foss plays it back to Kevin Klein. Yandel's pass is a giveaway to Slavin. For speed, couldn't handle it. And it's sent in by Derek Stepan. Stopped by Fox. Around the boards for Stepan. Plays it ahead. Comes back to Mark Stahl. Stahl changed by Nesterfield. And taken away by the Hurricanes. They tightened up defensively. Off the skates of Slavin, the defenseman. And Dan Boyle fires it off the boards too far for Jesper Fast. Icing on the Rangers. 7:24 gone by here in the second period.
Now we'll go back to that Carolina goal that's really given them a jump. And you'll see Nesterfield right there on the right 15, gets a stick up on Dan Boyle, gets him right in the face. And nobody sees it. You see the referee go right across the camera. He was going the other way. He might have been blocked out by the net. And so he didn't see it. And Nordstrom ends up taking advantage of that and gets Carolina to within one.
John Michael Lyles moving, shooting wide, and Lundqvist covers it with a glove. 12:29 to go in the second period. The man from Sweden, Joachim Nordstrom, scored on the fellow Swede, Henrik Lundqvist. Here's a look at the Kia Eastern Conference standings. Rangers in second place in the Metropolitan Division, only 1 point ahead of the Islanders. See how close things are throughout the division and the conference. Bruins and Devils are wild card teams. Carolina's only 3 points out of a wild card spot, but they played a couple more games than Pittsburgh, one more than Montreal and Ottawa.
Tell you what, Pittsburgh's playing better under Mike Sullivan. That team's getting dangerous, and the Rangers haven't played them yet. Can you imagine that? They're not going to play them for the first time until February. Four times this season they got to play each other.
Just builds up the anticipation and excitement.
And the Devils is when you start thinking, okay, they're losing. Now they win 3 in a row. John Hines is doing a wonderful job as the head coach of the Devils.
How about Kyle Palmieri's season?
Yeah, terrific.
4 with Paille, saved by Lack. A 2-on-1 developed. The shot in front was blocked. Chipped off the glass by Slavin.
Well, you look at the breakaway by Stepan here in the second period. That hit a post, and then that 2-on-1 that Lack is able to come up with a save. Two real good scoring chances for the Rangers to try and pad their lead.
Lindbergh shoved down by Nathan Gerbe. Slavin able to play it ahead, and there's Gerbe moving in on Yandel. He shoots, save off the chest of Lundqvist. Tough rising shot by Nathan Gerbe. Oscar Lindbergh across to Stolberg. He shoots, saved by Lack, and he holds it. 11:17 to go here in the second.
Now, Nathan Gerbe, he's a small statured player, makes a defensive play, and then gets right back into position to make an offensive play. Here it is, hard rising shot. And Lundqvist fights that off. Shots now 23-15 favoring the Rangers.
Sard, Zuccarello, and Nash on for the Rangers.
Now, Sam, we talked about the Rangers have won, is it 18 in the last 19,
yeah,
right?
18 out of 19.
All the games they always seem close, though, don't they?
A lot of
tight.
one-goal games.
A lot of one-goal
yes.
games.
No doubt about that. Brought up the boards by Jordan Staal. After it is Nordstrom centers in front, and that shot deflects wide. Nordstrom made a good play. Nordstrom, whose goal, third of the season.
Now this is their best line, and then Jordan Staal had a chance that deflected wide.
That shot got through. Lundqvist making the save. Nestershil was in front of him and actually fell over Henrik Lundqvist.
Now see, this is a line that is their best defensive line, but they also have been scoring lately. Nestershil on one wing, Nordstrom on the other, and then there's the play that gets through, and Lundqvist has to deal with Nestershil and says something to the official there. And Lundqvist does a good job finding the puck and holding on.
Face-off win by Derek Stepan. Klein to Miller. Off the board, stopped. Sent back in. Mark Staal is there. We've seen Mark against Eric a couple of times in this game. We haven't seen Mark against Jordan Staal. McDonough has been opposite him. McDonough and Girardi. Deflected in front. Foss couldn't tee up a shot. Miller scores! JT Miller found the loose puck and fired it past Eddie Lack. And the Rangers regain the 2-goal lead. It's 3-1.
Yeah, this is the thing, Sam, that the Rangers have given Carolina problems with. When they're quick on the forecheck, pressure on the forecheck, they have forced Carolina into some turnovers. Simple shoot in, but look at the Rangers. Quick on the play. Stepan's there, forces a turnover, gets a little help, and eventually Miller finds it. Short side, over the shoulder. So Foss will get an assist. Derek Stepan was the first player in to cause the havoc, and then the good finish by JT Miller.
Well, we talked about him right from the top. The improved play of JT Miller has been a big factor in the Rangers coming out of that funk that they were in for several weeks. And they've been playing better, and JT Miller is a big reason why. Dominic Moore. Eric Staal able to move it.
And he's their best player on the road. He
Yes.
really is. He gets on the road. He plays his best hockey on the road as well.
Third goal in the last 4 games for JT Miller. Lindholm playing it to Versteeg. Versteeg winds it behind the net. That's Elias Lindholm checked by Klein. Versteeg's pass went off of Paille and out with a puck center glass. Daniel Paille in his first game as a New York Ranger. First-round draft pick of the Buffalo Sabres. And Kevin Hayes controlling the puck again. Oscar Lindbergh with a shot, a deflection just wide.
That was Girardi that ended up in front of the net and got a piece of the shot.
Fired up the boards. Deflected by McDonough, recovered by Stolberg. Rangers with a 3-1 lead. Here comes Stolberg again. Driving deep. Around the net, couldn't get out in front. Good play by Pesce. Pesce's double teamed along the boards. Stolberg moved it. And Canes come out with it. Pushed ahead by Nestershil. McDonough bangs it off the boards. Knocked down by Jordan Stahl, played by Kevin Hayes. Two big men battling for the puck. Nestrashill's got it. His pass tipped away by Lindberg. Nestrashill again. McDonough without a stick. He broke his stick. Jordan Stahl with a setup. And the shot went wide by Hanifin.
McDonough's stick snapped in half as he tried to make a pass from his own zone up the middle. Didn't get anything on it. Had to drop the stick.
Slavin lost it to Miller. He's in. He scores. JT Miller does it again. And it's 4-1 Rangers.
How about that play? What a play from JT Miller. Again, his effort and never wanting to stop on a play. Here he is, goes one way, stops, reaches, doesn't give up on the play, eventually steals it, and then the beautiful move. Wow, what a play. Starts with effort and then finishes with just an outstanding play, handling the puck and making the move. Outstanding by JT Miller.
He's making us look good, Joe.
Another unassisted goal for the Rangers.
We talk about him at the top of the show, and he plays the #1 role. 2 goals by JT Miller here in the second period. The Rangers now have a 3-goal lead. It's 4-1. And the Rangers have taken advantage of those young Carolina defensemen.
Well, and I'll add one more. Lyles, the giveaway to McDonough on the first goal. So the Rangers have forced 4 giveaways by the Carolina defense that have all turned into goals.
There's Kevin Hayes moving in. Pass for Stolberg. And every goal that JT Miller scores for the remainder of the season makes it a new career high. He has 12. He had 10 last season. He's got 2 in this second period, giving him 12 on the season, giving the Rangers a 4-1 lead. Goal replay.
Well, here's the play. He stays on side. Derek Stepan gets in, causes a problem, gets a little help from Foss, and then there's the release on the wrist shot. Hard rising shot up high over the right shoulder for the Rangers' 3rd goal.
The day after the Rangers score 3 or more goals, get 50% off your regular menu priced online order at papajohns.com with promo code Rangers3. Available at participating Papa John's locations. Second career 2-goal game for JT Miller. He's never had an NHL hat trick. Nordstrom clears it out. JT Miller with goals in 3 of the last 4 games. Total of 4 goals in that span. Puck deflects out of the zone. Rangers regaining control of the game. After Carolina had come on, Lyles with a shot blocked by Klein. And the puck taken by Jesper Fast. It's off the stick of Miller and over the glass into the crowd. 6:38 to go here in the second period. Joe has mentioned this earlier in the game because it looked to be a factor that Carolina given up the fewest shots on goal in the league, averaging a little over 26.3, but the Rangers already have 26 shots on goal, and there's still 6.5 minutes to go in the second period. The Rangers came out strong. Nash with a takeaway from Hainsey. Nash circling, drops it to McDonough, saved by Lack. 6:17 to go here in the second period. Play alongside the Rangers on March the 1st. It's casino night, and tickets are on sale now. All net proceeds benefit the Garden of Dreams Foundation. Visit NewYorkRangers.com to purchase your tickets today. It's an event you don't want to miss. All the players will be there. All the players will be involved. They'll be dressed in their very nice tuxedos, and you'll have a great night for a great cause, the Garden of Dreams Foundation. Takeaway from Lindberg by Falk. He leads Di Giuseppe, whose shot is stopped. Di Giuseppe looking for the rebound. Lindbergh takes over, double team. Giuseppe took it away. Lindbergh able to move it up the boards. Hayes forces it out of the zone. Falk. Pass tipped away. And the Rangers come out with it. Hayes for Lindbergh. Lindbergh with Stallberg driving to the net. Lindbergh goes to the net, saved by Lack. Shane McClement to Nathan Gerby. Gerby, nice move to the inside, then he lost control on a stick check by Keith Yandel.
Yeah, it's a good chop on the stick, and that dislodged the puck from Gerby.
Yandel up ahead, tipped into the zone by Glass. And Lack. Slavin moves it up the boards. Hurricanes come out. Giuseppe for Victor Rask. Rask comes in with a shot. Saved by Lundqvist. And he holds on with 5:08 to go in the second period. And the Rangers with a 4-1 lead. Here's our Cadillac trivia question of the night. Dan Girardi playing in his 800th game with the New York Rangers, regular season and playoffs. Who has the most career regular season and playoff games as a New York Ranger? And if you don't know that, Joe, you have to leave and walk back to New York.
Tomorrow, because we were just informed we're staying overnight.
Oh, okay. You know this.
You got a pretty good idea.
It's your favorite answer.
You got a pretty good idea who it is.
5:08 to go in the second period. Rangers with an outstanding effort. Coming out sharp. And here's Stepan dumping it in. Playing the game 5-on-5 as we talked about.
Yeah.
That's when they're at their best. Puck all the way down, icing on Carolina.
Well, there's just so much pressure that the Rangers are putting on this young group of defensemen. It's a learning experience for them, for Carolina. They do have a few veterans. Really only have two veterans. You got Lyles back on defense and Hainsey.
Yeah.
You know, those are your two veteran guys. The other guys, even Falk is just a kid. You know, but these are young players that are learning a lot.
Long shot deflected away in front. Looks like it hit the defenseman in front. Nash was there as well. There's Falk.
You know, as Bill Peters told us, Sam, he said for these, you know, like the three that we've mentioned a lot, played college hockey last year. He says this is like their second season already with the number of games that they're used to playing in college, and now what they're having to play in the National Hockey League. A big adjustment, especially when you're 18.
But, yeah, absolutely. Broussard, puck taken away. But there's a noticeable difference, Joe. We saw Carolina earlier in the season. There's no doubt that they are a better team.
Oh, for sure. They're for sure, Sam. I mean, these players have gotten better. And Bill Peters is a good coach, and he has them working hard and competing. And like you said, he told us before the game, he said there's been maybe 2 or 3 games this season where he walked away and said we didn't compete very hard.
Prestige finds an open man, and the shot by Lyles went wide. Hard shot, but missed the net all the way back.
And the way Lyles has played, he'll be an unrestricted free agent, and I would guess that he'll be moved at the trade deadline.
Okay.
I think they've got a few players that they can move. Versteeg is another one, unrestricted free agent, has won Stanley Cups with Chicago. You know, a veteran guy that they have more depth in this organization now, so losing a few players won't affect them all that much.
Mark Stahl clears it out to Kevin Hayes. Tanner Glass gets to the puck, shot it behind the net, picks it up. And Klein saved with a blocker by Lack. Glass puts it in front. Batted across. Brad Malone trying to play it. Stopped by Kevin Klein. Under 3 minutes to go here in the second. Carolina scored early. Put the Rangers lead to 2-1. Rangers on 2 goals by JT Miller. They've taken a 4-1 lead. Dominic Moore able to bring it out. Dump in was blocked by Falk. Turned the other way. Victor Rask moves in. Got deflected by Kevin Klein. Goes up into the netting with 2:24 to go in the Second period, the upcoming schedule is brought to you by Lexus, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Rangers. Sunday on MSG, 3 p.m. start. Monday, the Rangers are home against the Buffalo Sabres, 7:30 p.m. That's on NBC Sportsnet and ESPN Radio. Then the All-Star break, the All-Star game in Nashville on the 31st.
Who are they playing? Is that in South Florida, Sam? Are they playing then?
I think.
'Cause I thought you were going to the All-Star game, weren't you?
I'm going to the All-Star game on whatever golf course is open in
okay.
South
So it's not
Florida.
there. All right.
That'll be in Nashville.
Oh, okay.
And Nashville's doing a great job getting ready for the All-Star game. Sorry I'll miss it.
Just wondering.
It won't be warm in Nashville.
Just wondering.
2:13 to go in this second period. Stepan against Jordan Staal.
That's another area. Carolina came into this game #1 in the league in faceoffs. They're a real good faceoff team, but they win it there, but take the icing, and that's again one thing that Bill Peters looks at and says, when we take icings, that's not good.
Experience the lounges at Madison Square Garden, a spectacular group and hospitality space on the bridge level. For more information, call 212-465-6080 or visit NewYorkRangers.com. Broussard couldn't handle the pass. Nestershil comes out with it for Carolina. Off the corner boards, Nordstrom. Taken back by Broussard to Girardi, and up ahead Zuccarello. Zuccarello with his point-scoring streak on the line against Carolina. Still has a little over a period to keep that alive. Not that it means all that much to him, but it's a nice little note. McDonough. Rangers first period goals, Ryan McDonough and Keith Yandel. 2 goals here in the second by JT Miller. Nice play by Lindbergh. Hayes controlling along the boards, lost control. And it's brought out by Nordstrom.
Hayes is getting his confidence back, though, Sam.
Yes.
You know what? When he starts getting the puck and he's on the move and he wants to hold on to it and make a play instead of being afraid to make a mistake, that's when he plays his best hockey.
And it's too bad that Kreider is out with the neck problem. It shouldn't be too serious. They expect him back Sunday. But he's starting to gain his confidence, too.
Right.
That puck is out of play. Play stops with 46.7 seconds remaining here in the second period. A lot of positive signs for the Rangers. They're looking for their first 2-game winning streak since November the 23rd.
Yeah. Sahlberg was flying against Vancouver. He had a great game against Vancouver, and he's been very effective again in this game. Again, his game is skating and getting in on the forecheck, and because he's got good size and using his size. And when you're injured and can't do those things, it certainly has a negative effect on your game, and he played that way for well over a month.
Slavens pass up ahead to DiGiuseppe. Staal back for it. Jeff Skinner is on. It's taken away, played by Kevin Klein. Puck brought across by Gerby, Peter Rask, and that's tipped into the corner. That's DiGiuseppe, number 34, not Gerby. Slavin. And Kevin Klein with a touch for an icing on Carolina. Coming up at the end of the first period, or at the end of the second period, the New York Lottery Intermission Report. JT Miller will be our special guest. Bill Peto's back in the studio in New York with the Audi MSG 150. Steve Valiquette and Anson Carter. Highlights and analysis. And Steve is going to be positive. I'm sure Steve Valiquette is loving this game. Centered by Stepan. Played off the boards by McDonough. Deflected over the top. Swung in front by Stepan. Almost found an opening. Eddie Lack's right pad got there. Stepan smiling as they almost had another one. But J.T. Miller, the story of that second period. Carolina woke up, scored a goal, put some pressure on, cut the Rangers lead to 2-1, and then J.T. Miller came alive.
Well, I think the other thing that was impressive, Sam, was that when Carolina scored the goal to make it 2-1, the Rangers didn't change. You know, Carolina had a little bit of a push there, they had a couple of shifts after that where they seemed to have some jump, but the Rangers just stayed with it. They played well defensively, and then were able to score 2 more to build on that lead.
Solid through 2 periods. Rangers lead 4-1. Henrik Lundqvist has stopped 17 of 18. Oh, the ice couldn't stop Ranger fans. They came here in full force, and they're being treated to a good effort by the Rangers. It's 4-1, end of 2. J.T. Miller coming up next. And for the third period, Rangers and Carolina Hurricanes. New York Rangers hockey on MSG is presented by Chase. Joe, let's look at your Volvo Telestrator.
Well, we're going to focus on J.T. Miller here, Sam, and sometimes it's just getting to your right position. Okay, so here's J.T. Miller, and as he's reading this, he's going to go this way. And as the puck goes in this way, the defenseman's going to have to make a decision. Well, watch what happens. As Falk goes back, he'll look, and he sees Miller taking away the board. So Miller's going this way, so he's thinking, I better try and get the puck here. Guess what? That doesn't work because it goes off the skate of Stepan. Now the turnover. Here comes Foss to help out, and then J.T. Miller, who was going to take away the boards, finishes the play for the 3rd goal for the Rangers, and his first of the 2 he scored in the 2nd period.
I hope he likes hats. I have a feeling hats could come into play here in the third period. Just have a feeling.
I hope you're right.
Brassard, Zuccarello, and Nash. Girardi and McDonough open the 3rd period for the Rangers. McDonough back for it. Rask on him. Nordstrom stopped by McDonough. And Brassard carries out. Brassard's scratched the other night because of the flu. It was his first game that he missed the whole season.
He did not feel good. He lost a little bit of weight during that little timeout.
Slavin with a backhander glove by Lundqvist, and he holds it.
Rick Nash went heavily into the boards. Went heavily into the boards. Again, it's the start of the period, so this ice is not chopped up at all. And he seemed to go in face first. We'll get another look at it. I kind of saw it out of the corner of my eye. And Jim Ramsey's out there in a hurry to help out. And here it comes again. Nash is coming back to defend and kind of dives and then gets tripped up, and he turns, and he's just, well, he didn't, thank God, I don't think he hit his head, but he was spinning.
So he's going to the locker room.
His leg, he's not putting any weight on his left leg. But he got his skates caught. You know, the effort, he kind of dove to try and defend. And then as he was getting back to his feet, skates came together with the Carolina player, which then threw him off balance and turned the other way. And so let's hope that that is not serious.
Well, he was really in an awkward position and went hard into the boards. We'll try to get word as to what the injury is. Hopefully he'll be able to return.
You know, Sam, he went in. I thought initially that he hit his head, but he didn't. But he was kind of up on his knees, so he went in knees first into the boards.
Face-off win by Jordan Staal. Big drive by Hainsey, a save by Lundqvist. Hanifin gets it to Eric Staal. The wraparound try was blocked by Brother Mark. Hanifin across. Hainsey the drive. That was blocked in front. The rebound off the side of the net. And cleared out of the crease by Kevin Klein.
Yeah, nice job by Klein to help cover up. It'll be an icing, but Lundqvist got to the left side and made the save as Carolina kept trying to banging it in that short side. And eventually it gets behind him. Here's Lundqvist. He'll go to that side, save. Here's another one, and then Klein is there to help him out. There's Lundqvist again. It was deflected, didn't get there, and then it hits off his back, then off the side of the net.
How many times have we seen it hit off his back, then go into the net for a goal? Eddie Lack out to play the puck. Jordan Staal moves in. Mark was there to slow him down. That may have been the first time in this game. Mark was opposite Jordan. He's been opposite Eric several times. Fast for Miller. Miller against Lyles. Miller around the net. Lyles with a good job checking him. Able to take the puck away. Lundqvist. Now Yandel. Pressured by Skinner. Yandel with the outlet. And Stepan fires on goal. Gloved head high by Eddie Lack.
JT Miller's kind of got that look to him, you know, that, you know what, I got a chance to do something here I haven't done yet in my career.
That's right.
Keep a close eye on him this period.
Boyle up ahead for Oscar Lindberg. Stolberg stopped along the boards. Stolberg gets it again. It's poked away by Skinner and brought out by McClement. Lundqvist. Now Girardi. Girardi with McDonough. Alain Vigneault elects to put on the line with Brassard and Zuccarello in place of Rick Nash. Girardi lifted ahead. Touched with a high stick by JT Miller, and the whistle stops play. 2:34 gone by here in the third period. Rangers with a 4-1 lead.
You know, Girardi just looks healthier, doesn't he, Sam?
Yes.
I mean, he's a tough guy. He plays with a lot of courage, always has. As we've talked about so many times, he rarely misses games, and yet year after year he leads his team in block shots, hits, and he just plays through a lot and never complains.
Gives up his body. He's a warrior. Eric Staal and Jordan Staal out there for the first time together. Puck deflected away as Bill Peters looks for some offense. Meanwhile, heading the other way, Brassard with Zuccarello. Brassard in deep. Danny Paillet is the third forward on that line, getting a little extra time to get accustomed to his new team. Cleared out by Versteeg. Down the ice it goes. It'll be an icing on Carolina. 3:10 gone by here in the third.
Now the Rangers have a chance to take advantage of this. Again, it's prophetic. Listening to Bill Peters, what he told us before the game about his team, and the two areas that he focuses on: icings, which now they've taken quite a few,
yes,
and faceoffs. And the Rangers have been the better faceoff team in this game thus far. And Carolina came in #1 in the league.
Mark Staal with Jordan chasing him. The middle of Jesper Fast. Fast moves around Nordstrom and whistled down for an offside.
And I got to correct myself. They came in #2 in the league. Arizona was ahead of them as far as face-offs. But the Rangers have done a better job in that area. And again, they've just, you know what, they've just kind of grinded Carolina down. Carolina came out with some jump, you know, after that game last night, going to overtime, getting back late. They came out and were pretty good for 10 minutes, and the Rangers, they just kept after them.
And you just have to wonder, Joe, if maybe it's in the heads of the players. They know this streak. The coach emphasized this streak, the Rangers' dominance in this series. Lindholm's pass is given away to Moore. McDonough's got it. On goal, saved by Lack.
I think that hit a defenseman in front. I think that hit the leg of one of the defensemen in front. That shot, to me, it looked like it was going to go 5 feet wide. And in front of the net, it hits Lyles, I believe. And I'm not sure Lack even knew he made the save. I could tell from that replay, but it looked to me on the initial shot that Lyles accidentally deflected it into his goaltender.
Lindberg is chased from the face-off circle. Kevin Hayes comes in. Just about 4 minutes gone by here in the third. Rangers with a 4-1 lead. Stolberg after it. Lyles checked there by Lindbergh. Back the other way around the boards. And chipped ahead by Nordstrom, taken back by Stallberg. Dan Boyle. And Keith Yandel up ahead. Nice pass through. Lindbergh with the puck. Hayes was going to the net. Lindbergh couldn't get it to him. Moving across to Giuseppe. Here's Skinner shooting wide. Around the boards, Falk. Now Di Giuseppe to Skinner.
Damn, you've hardly mentioned Skinner's name in this game.
I was just thinking the same thing.
We were talking about how streaky of a scorer he is.
That shot saved by Lundqvist went by him and into the corner.
Now that shot by McClement went right through Dan Boyle, who screened Lundqvist.
That shot gets through, save it, he made another save on Skinner. Now Skinner gets into it.
Lundqvist without a stick.
Yep, stick behind the net. Falk gives it up to Yandel. Yandel fires it out of the zone. And it was touched by a Carolina player. Rangers get a line change. Lundqvist has his stick back, and Carolina is called for icing.
Wow, what a save by Lundqvist. Skinner always seems to get chances against the Rangers. He didn't in the first two periods until here. And Lundqvist with a brilliant save. And he just pushes off the left leg. Look at him get over there and not give up on the play, and is able to get a blocker glove on the shot by Jeff Skinner.
What a save. We talked about Skinner. Yeah, you mentioned Joe Streaky. He had one stretch this season where he scored 9 goals in 6 games. That's how good he can be at times. Moved ahead by Brassard. It's through to Tanner Glass, who's out there with Brassard and Zuccarello. As Alain Vigneault seems to be rotating the fourth line forwards in place of Rick Nash, who went off to the locker room. Kirby with a shot that's deflected across. Zuccarello back to play it. All the way around and out of the zone. Ron Hainsey for Carolina. 6 minutes gone by, third period. Rangers with a 4-1 lead. Intercepted by Zuccarello. Slowed down by Hainsey. Stepan checked there by Malone. That's deflected wide by Klein off the Zuccarello feed. Hanifin for Gerby. Gerby was stopped by Stahl. And the Rangers take it back. Kevin Klein. Mark Stahl checked by brother Jordan. And after Jesper Fast. Now JT Miller against Jordan Stahl. Pesci up the boards for Eric Stahl. Eric, Jordan, and Versteeg. The line for Carolina. Versteeg checked there by Fast. That pass blocked away by Danny Paillet, who chases it down. Paillet against Versteeg. Paillet keeps it alive. That pass off the side of the net is taken back by Eric Stahl. Good hustle by Danny Paillet. One thing about him in his career, he is an outstanding skater. And that will serve him well as a penalty killer for the Rangers. Toward the net but wide. Around the board, stopped by Eric Stahl. Rask with a pass to Falk. The shot blocked. No, got through. Lundqvist made the save. I thought Girardi had gotten a piece of it. Lundqvist makes the save and holds. 7.5 minutes gone by in the third. Rangers leading 4-1. Here's a good sight. Rick Nash coming out of the Rangers locker room and back onto the ice. And a lot of Ranger fans saw that, and the cheers went up from the Ranger fans here, and Rick Nash seems to be okay.
Backup goalie gave him a standing ovation. There's not enough room on the benches for the backup goaltender. That's why you saw Antti Ranta in the runway across the ice.
And let's give the magic hands of medical trainer Jim Ramsey a round of applause for the work done on Rick Nash to get him back on the ice. That looked like it could have been a serious injury.
Jim Ramsey's getting better with age, isn't he, Sam?
Yes,
after
he
that
is.
birthday of his?
Fine wine, Joe. Fine wine.
Just a young man, you know.
What'd you say he was, 30?
Something, 32, I think I said.
Nice move by Nordstrom. Boy, he's noticeable on the ice.
He's been real good on that left wing with Jordan Staal in the center.
Sunday on MSG, Rangers back in action in Ottawa to take on the Senators. Live coverage begins at 2:30 in the afternoon with Visa Rangers Game Night with Bill Pino. Rangers and the Ottawa Senators, 3 p.m. Sunday on MSG. Hope you'll join us. We'll lead you right into the football games. We'll be the lead-in. Watch the Rangers, and you can turn over and check out the NFL games. Right here, a little over 8 minutes gone by in the third period. Rangers have only one shot on goal here in the third. Face-off win, shot by Hannafin, deflects wide. Skinner is there, checked by Yandel.
JT Miller was saying, now Dan, if you get the puck, I'm going to be flying right up the middle of the ice. Try and give me a good pass so I have a breakaway.
Clement for Carolina. Rangers have done an outstanding job of keeping this game a 5-on-5 game. Miller is stopped by Hainsey. Jesper Fast moves in, drops it back. There's the pass for Miller. He missed it.
I think he was over anxious.
Yandel really off the end boards, bounces in front, went past Jesper Fast.
And Fast knew exactly where JT Miller was.
Right.
He wasn't looking that way, but he knew where he was.
Fast gets it back to Yandel, 11 minutes to go in the third.
And he puts his hands in the air to Yandel and says, I'm going for a change. Just don't pass it over here.
Yandel drives it hard to Rick Nash, who's back on the ice. First time since going hard into the boards, opening minute of the third period. Nash finds the puck, shot blocked by Lyles. That's played toward the front and blocked again. Michael Lyles. And the Rangers zone, Mark Stahl with Nestrashil on him. Stahl against Derby. Nestrashil trying to play it. Stahl comes away with it. Outstanding play by Mark Stahl. Carries it and sends it deep into the Carolina zone. Coming down to the midway point, third period. Here's Jordan Stahl and now Eric. Girardi got up by Jordan Stahl. Eric tried to play it. Dominic Moore. Now Versteeg. Eric Stahl back outside. Shot by Falk. Oh, it hit his own man. I think it hit Versteeg. He's skating across the slot.
Yeah, Paille had him and gave him a little push.
Eric Stahl winds up. That's a pass for Versteeg. Missed. Slavin winds it around the boards. Eric Stahl in the corner. Checked by McDonough.
Rangers been outshot 9-1 here in the third period.
Moore trying to move it. Lifts it out of the zone. Falk was bumped by Paille. 9:15 to go in the third. Rangers with a 4-1 lead.
And Stahl just got high sticked, I believe, by Girardi. Let's see if they caught him. I believe they did. The Rangers' first penalty of the game.
With 9:10 to go in the third, the Rangers leading 4-1. GMC, see the pros nearest you to test drive one of their award-winning trucks, crossovers, or SUVs today. GMC, we are professional grade. Ryan McDonough, the Rangers captain, with a goal to start it off. 7 points last 7 games. JT Miller, 2 goals, now has a career-high 12 and a career-high 24 points. And the Rangers trying to make it 2 straight wins for the first time in nearly 2 months. Fired around the boards and out. Rangers shorthanded for the first time in the game. McDonough and Klein, Moore and Foss, the Rangers penalty killers. Rangers have given up an average of 1 power play goal per game over the last 15.
That's not good.
No. Klein clears all the way down. In the last game against Vancouver, they were only shorthanded 1 time, and they killed it off. So stay out of the penalty box.
That's one way of doing it.
And they've done that to this point in the game. Nash is on with Stepan. Alain Vigneault wants to use 3 tip penalty killing pairs. We saw more with Fast. He's got Stepan with Nash, and we should see Payet with Stolberg. Stepan gets it out of the zone. It was intercepted by Eric Stahl. Falk to Lyles. Lyles looking toward the net, takes it deep. Center save by Lundqvist. Oh, big chance for Eric Stahl. Lundqvist comes up with a big save. Mark Stahl is out there now. Shot blocked by Nash, and that hurt. Nash is having trouble getting up, and he's limping to the bench.
Right in the ankle or the foot. He's thinking right now, I should have stayed in the room with a 4-1 lead, but I better go back out. Let my teammates know that I can play through this.
And that's cleared all the way down by Kevin Klein. 12 seconds to go in the Carolina power play. 7:20 to go in the third. Jeff Skinner carries in.
Nash is just writhing in pain on the Ranger bench.
And a good clear, good penalty kill for the Rangers.
Jim Ramsey standing right behind him, waiting for a signal to come over and help.
Ice bag, ice bag.
Not getting any.
Team's back at full strength. Each team 0 for 1 on the power play in the game. Just under 7 minutes to go. Rangers leading 4-1. Here's Boyle in deep. Outside to Yandel. Now to Brassard. Miller's on the line with Brassard and Zuccarello. Boyle drives it hard around the board. Slowed down by Eddie Lack. Pesci moving it around to Di Giuseppe. And it's taken back by Lindbergh. Girardi to Mark Stahl. Lindbergh after the puck. Brad Malone after it. Lindbergh takes it away. Nice play. Pass in front. Shot deflected away. Nice play by Oscar Lindbergh.
Oh, he can pass the puck. He's got real good hands.
Slavin. Ainsley playing it up the boards. Give away to Stahl. Down low Stolberg. His feet for Payet was broken up. And the Hurricanes head the other way. Nathan Gerby. Gerby looks, fires, blockered away by Lundqvist. Hayes clears it out and deflected off the Rangers bench. 5:34 to go in the third period. Rick Nash seems to be okay. He's taking a pounding here in the third period. Henrik Lundqvist comes up with a big save. Be a question. Dan Girardi playing his 800th game with the Rangers, regular season and playoffs. Who has the most career regular season playoff games as a Ranger, Joe?
Is he a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Is he a Hall of Fame guy?
Yes.
Got to be Brian Leetch.
It's got to be. There you go, Joe. You don't have to walk home tonight in the ice storm. Hainsey with a shot deflected away. Played by McDonough. Knocked down by Rask. Lindholm back to Hainsey. High shot, fought off. Nice play by Lundqvist. That was a tough shot. Hainsey with the outlet. Ooh, big hit by Tanner Glass. Knocked down Joachim Nordstrom. Along the boards, it's cleared out for Lindholm. Rangers looking for their 9th consecutive win against the Carolina Hurricanes.
And here in Carolina, the Rangers coming into this game had won 10 of their previous 12 here.
They have really dominated the series between these two teams. Slavin tried to lift it ahead of his block. Good effort by Jesper Fast.
Carolina will get better though, Sam. You know, they got Ronnie Francis as the general manager. Again, they've got more depth. They've got to make some decisions about what they're going to do with Eric Stahl. He could become an unrestricted free agent at the end of the season. They haven't made the playoffs in 6 seasons. You know, so that could be a chip if Eric wants to go to a playoff team if Carolina's not there. So some decisions have to be made yet. But they are getting younger and they're getting better.
Broussard finds some room, brings it out under 4 minutes to go in the third period. Black moves it to Fall. And out for DiGiuseppe for Eric Stahl. Blocked there. Played by Boyle. Mark Stahl. The three Stahl brothers on the ice together. Boy, every time I look down that, I think about the interview we did with Linda Stahl in Philadelphia, Joe. What an amazing job.
Yeah.
Lindbergh's pass. Hayes tried to tip it in. It just went wide.
And Linda, you mean had a chance to watch her favorite son play? As told to us by her favorite son, Mark.
That's right. Just an amazing accomplishment. Three players of this caliber. Just three outstanding players in the league.
That's one thing, Sam, and then the people
that's
they
right.
are
is great people.
Something really special.
Yeah.
They're all just real classy people. Good people.
2:45 to go. Rangers a 4-1 lead.
And they've all made a really good living. Represented by a really classy guy in Bobby Orr. He's got the whole family, Mr. Orr.
Not bad representation.
No, it's all good.
Tipped out by Tanner Glass. And Ron Hainsey moves it. Rangers started well in this game. Scored 2 goals in the first period. Ryan McDonough and Keith Yandel. And then JT Miller with 2 goals in the second period after Carolina had cut the Rangers lead to 2-1. Yandel up ahead. Only 1 penalty taken by the Rangers in the game. And they have played to their strength in this one. And Henrik Lundqvist has played a solid game. Made some real good saves. 31 shots on goal for Carolina. 13 here in the third period.
To 1 for the Rangers. And again, the Rangers' focus hasn't been to score more goals. It's been to close this out. Even though Lundqvist has had 13 saves, he's only had a couple that have been a real difficult variety.
Puck still alive along the boards. Time ticking off. As the Rangers close in on their first 2-game winning streak in 2 months.
Most of the crowd has not left.
Because they're all Ranger fans. What a hearty group, and congratulations to all the fans who made the trip here.
Yeah.
And, the weather just, it's all over the East Coast, obviously. It's awful. But it's been icing, ice, sleet, freezing rain.
And in a way, too bad for the Carolina Hurricanes, because this would have been their best crowd since opening night. They had more tickets sold for this game than any other home game other than opening night. So they were ready to come here and see the Rangers and the Hurricanes play.
Teams will have one more meeting here in Carolina. Brad Malone goes deep, check there. Puck cleared by Girardi from in front. Final seconds tick off. And this is a solid 4-1 win for the New York Rangers. Henrik Lundqvist gets his 22nd win. JT Miller has a career-high 12 goals and 24 points now. The Rangers have won 19 of 20 from the Carolina Hurricanes in the last 9 in a row. Rick Nash got beaten up by the puck a few times.
He did. And the boards.
And the boards. But he came back and he's in there and looks to be okay. A real good win for the Rangers.
Now, I just like their attitude about coming into this game, knowing that they had to come out to a good start. And again, it was even for the first 10 minutes until the Rangers got a power play. And even though they didn't score, that's when they took the game over. The final 10 minutes, just about the entire second period, and the third period, what they did is they played to protect the lead. So an important 2 points, and now they get ready to, at some point in time, we're going to make it to Ottawa. We just don't know when.
Stay tuned. Coming up, we've got complete post-game coverage coming your way on Mercedes-Benz Rangers post-game. Bill Pito anchoring in the studio with Steve Valiquette and Anson Carter. John Giannone's going to leave the radio booth, go down to the locker room, talk to the players. We'll hear from head coach Alain Vigneault. Joe Micheletti and Dave Maloney have their analysis, all coming up on Mercedes-Benz Rangers postgame. It's coming up in just a couple of minutes. We've got a little more business to do here in Carolina after a solid 4-1 win by the Rangers.